It's true. People communicate differently. They express themselves in different ways and interpret others using various perceptual strategies, which can sometimes cause more confusion than understanding. You do the same. Because of your personality style, you interpret, or sometimes misinterpret, other people in ways that they may not anticipate. Today we will be focusing on the divide between introverts and extroverts. You will learn the key differences between these personality types and enter the mind of an introvert. This video will also include a guide for extroverts to consider when interacting with more reserved counterparts. But first, let's consider the fundamentals of these personality types. Much theory has been developed on interpersonal communication, and most of it is centered on understanding the personality style of the person with whom you need to communicate. The Myers-Briggs Type Indicator test, taken by millions of people each year, can be useful in understanding other people's communication styles. The test is divided into 4 sections based on personal preferences like where you focus your attention, the way you take in information, the way you make decisions, and how you deal with the outer world. There are a total of 16 possible personality types. I am an INFJ, which stands for Introverted, Intuitive, Feeling, and Judging. Notice that the first characteristic determined by this test divides people into the categories of introversion and extroversion. An extrovert directs their energy toward the outer world of people and things, while the introverts draw their energy from the inner world of ideas and impressions. It's important to remember that introversion is different from being shy. Shyness is rooted in social anxiety, while introversion is more about how you respond to stimulation, including social stimulation. Extroverts crave additional amounts of stimulation, whereas introverts feel most alive in quiet, reserved environments. Not all of the time, but a lot of the time. I am an introvert living in an extrovert's world. I've created some guidelines, or what I'd like to call the 5 mini commandments of interacting with introverts. Please consider the following recommendations for future interactions with us introverts. Introverts have a deep inherent need for privacy, and we get embarrassed easily by either public praise or criticism. Please give us time to consider and reflect. Allow us time to process and give advance notice whenever possible. We like to process, rehearse, reevaluate, and test ideas before bringing them to the table. It's a scientific fact that our brains are different from the brains of extroverts. When information enters our brains, it travels down a longer pathway, including areas associated with self-reflection, empathy, planning, and evaluating. This means that we process information more thoroughly and deeply. Consider written communication. We are better thinkers than speakers. If you want to know what we really think, ask us to write about our thoughts. Or ask us something and tell us we don't have to answer right away. Give us time to think and process. We put a lot of thought into the few words that we do say, so interruptions can be really frustrating. As you chatter away, we are desperately clinging to our last thought with the hope that you'll let us spit it out. A good way to care for us introverts is to let us finish what we're saying, and then add to the topic. Misunderstandings contribute to communication mismatch, which often begins among introverts and extroverts. This may be due to a lack of understanding of each other's preferences. Hopefully this video enlightened you on how personality differences affect communication and helps you through any future miscommunication that you may have with people of the opposing personality.